All right, how's everyone doing tonight? I hope well. Ghost Rider, how's it going? I am going to be running the last mission to unlock the event ship, setting it up here on my free-to-play account, and then doing a run or two just to check it out and see what the my first impressions are of it. So far, everything I've read looks like it's going to be a great torp boat. I don't have that capability yet on this account, on the free-to-play account. It's most likely going to set it up with a beam overload build. Ship looks great, specs look great, especially for torpedo builds. So I'm pretty pumped. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I need to run one Starbase 1, Defensive Starbase 1, and I should be able to unlock the ship. That now. Go. That's popping real fast tonight. Well, it's been popping fast all month, but doing well? Excellent. I'm doing very well myself. I can't complain. Weather is halfway decent and kids are in bed. Hopefully no one comes to bother me. Would be awesome. Yeah, I can't complain at all, man. I'm doing well. Have you unlocked the ship yet? The anniversary ship? This is PC. Identical game. I think different servers, but all the same mechanics apply. Controls are a little different. I've only played on PlayStation 4 like once or twice, and that was before I played on PC. Do you play? If so, PC or console? Yeah, when I did try it on PlayStation 4, like I said, it was before I really got into the game, but I had, it's funny because I had plugged a keyboard in to play the game. And it was only just for a bit too, so I can't even remember if the experience was similar to this using a keyboard, but haven't played yet, but it will on PS4. I see, especially lately, I'm seeing a lot of console players. I've considered picking it back up on console, mostly to make videos and that kind of thing. But it's already a lot of work with two separate accounts. This is my free-to-play account. I don't spend any money on it at all, and then I have my main account. It's a great game though, but I see, like I said, I see a lot of people playing on console and liking it quite a bit. I really like Star Trek. There's not a whole lot of other choices, and but that's okay because this game is huge. I mean, I've got more hours than I'd like to admit in it. Looks good, especially for being 11 years old. The ground gameplay is starting to feel as dated as it is, but all the space gameplay is excellent. And I don't mind the ground stuff, it just it feels a little older than obviously most of the other MMO ground games. I'm assuming you're considering playing, huh? Brian, how's it going? Yeah, I agree. The ground needs to be revamped. I don't feel like it would be that hard. I mean, I'm not a game computer programmer or anything like that, but I think there's some minor stuff they could do just to at least get it on par with like a SOTOR or I don't know, WoW or something like that. I don't feel like it'd be that hard, but like I said, what do I know? But I agree with you 100%. It's the way they set up ground. It's basically it's like flying your ship, but in 2 dimensions, you know, instead of the three dimensions. We're not just flying your ship, but all the control. Cryptic Studios has a few other games, and I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but a couple of them are like new being developed, and I know some of the other ones that they have are on the same engine and platform, and they're primarily, you know, all ground game-based games. You will play SDO? It's a good decision, man. It's a lot of fun. Pretty much, yep. I like never ever played ground until they put in the random queue system. So I paid a little bit more attention to it then. I don't like hate it, but I'm normally not gonna pick it if I have a choice.
Here come the Klingon battleships. Keep fighting.
Okay. Planeswalker, that's the newest one. I saw, and shit, I just can't remember. It looked like a superhero game that I saw them doing on their live stream. Can ships in Admiralty be upgraded? In the Admiralty system, no. So the way that system works, and if I'm understanding you correctly, is if you're, say you get the ship I just got right here. It's a tier 5. It comes with a card, and that card is set in stone. Once you get it, it's for that ship. If you got like a tier 6 Odyssey class, then you would get a new card for that, and you would have 2. You'd have the card for this ship, and then the card for the new one. But you cannot upgrade your Admiralty ships. I found on my free-to-play, before I started earning a little bit better stuff, I would buy the Mirror Universe ships. They're pretty cheap on the exchange. They're not super good overall, but like if you get the science ship, for instance, it's got a huge amount of points in science, not very much in the rest. It's not real, you know, well-rounded, and they're all like that too. So like the engineering class, it's going to have good numbers for engineering. Tactical ones are going to have good for tactical, but they're not going to be, you know, real well rounded. But it's a cheaper, easier way to get, you know, points, you know, in those, you know, in a specific area, be it science or tactical or the engineering. There's definitely better stuff, but it's easy to get, it's fairly inexpensive, and it can fill those gaps in until you start to build up more ships. Another player designed his own bridge, which was very cool. Are you talking about that one? It was almost like a virtual reality, or like it could have been a virtual. You could like walk through it, and it was the Enterprise D. I think there was the bridge and a couple decks and that kind of thing. So I remember a while back seeing something like that. It was made on the Unreal Engine, and it was really, really cool. Guy did a really good job, but I think he got shut down by whoever, you know, owned Star Trek or the rights to the Enterprise D, and they cease and desisted him. And unfortunately, I had lost a hard drive that had a copy of that that rendering that he put together. It's pretty much impossible to find. Back. No, not one. I was talking to some guys the other day in game, and they should add more ship interior. It looked like they started CBS Paramount. Yeah, that's right. Owns it. I wish they would do more ship interior and expand on that, but it doesn't look like the resources are there for them. A lot of people make the joke, you know, Space Barbie's the end game, and if you look at games like SOTOR, once you get far enough in that, you're decorating your stronghold and all that kind of stuff. It'd be kind of cool if you could like set up the interior of your starship however you wanted to. All right, let's unlock this ship. I have not flown it at all yet. I haven't ran my final daily on my my main account yet, so this is gonna be first look at it here. Let's make sure I have slots available. Reactive slots, okay. Let's see, and holy shit, we got a kid coming out and he's supposed to be in bed. Give me 1 second, guys. I am sorry. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, sorry about that, guys. I thought I was in the clear. Like the solo captain's chair. I like that too, where it's kind of like just up in the middle. It's almost like a throne. Could be the consoles. You're using bridge observed offs. I switched up my weapons to be all light, but lately my ship is being outclassed by all enemy ships. Is that on PC or on console that you're having that problem, Sandman 28? I don't know if it's that. I'll just tell you what I'm thinking reading that. They just expanded the Endeavor system on PC, and ever since that's happened, my scores that we do in our test run DPS maps, they've gone down quite a bit, and they've been really hit or miss. I think if you're on PC and you're seeing a big issue with the performance of your ship, I think there might be something weird going on the back end, and I know they're aware of it, and I'm sure they'll address that soon. I don't know if console has had the Endeavors expanded yet or not, but I have noticed some decreases. Similar consoles bad finding. All right, let's claim this ship here. On Xbox, okay. Let me just catch up there with what I missed while I was checking on my kid. So you switched up all your consoles. Okay, right consoles. So on your tactical consoles, are you using all matching energy type for that particular one? Or that's what you're still looking for? Okay, have been okay, right, people to craft them items. Okay. Because that'll make a difference, but even you would see a drop. Like, let's say you had, you know, a couple phaser, a couple tetrion, a couple plasma, and you happen to be, you know, in that build boosting plasma more than any of the other ones, and then you switched all over to phaser, then you would see a reduction in your performance until you replace those other tactical consoles to be all phaser. Once you do that, you'll see a huge increase. So depending on how your console layout is, that that could be why you're seeing a reduction, because you're getting you know, you're whatever you were boosting the most before, because it sounds like you probably had a little bit of everything, which is exactly where I was. Like the first year I played, I had just a mixture of all kinds of stuff. But I think once you, whatever kind of energy type you picked, once you match up all your tactical consoles with that, you'll probably see a boost over prior to changing it. Gonna use beam weapons only. Yeah, that's I would recommend that. I do run a torpedo, like on this one here, but it's a part of a set bonus that gives me stacking critical severity. Also, even without that, sometimes I'll still run one. Number one, I like it. Feels good, you know, when it goes off, especially with a, you know, a spread. And a lot of the ships have, you know, enough tactical, you know, bridge officer slots where you got to put something there. So putting a torpedo gives you, you know, another slot you can kind of take advantage of instead of just filling it with crap or, you know, a copy of something. But beam weapons are a good place to start. I really like cannons as well. I don't have any on this this particular tune. That takes a lot more practice in your piloting and those kinds of things. Yep. I agree with Brian 100%. Phaser build is going to be the easiest. You can get a lot of good stuff from mission drops or mission rewards, that is, and you can put together a really good build without spending much EC or real money for that matter. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's unpack this guy and take a look. Stick with the stock name. Okay, there's our preview. Let's see what this comes with. Yeah, match those consoles, and you'll see a big difference. And I also wouldn't worry about boosting your torpedo. Do all phaser consoles. You just won't get enough by like splitting it in half. Splitting that difference it won't help you. So most likely you have 7 beam arrays and 1 torpedo. So go all phaser for your consoles. All right, let's see what comes on this guy's stock here. The anti-proton, experimental weapon. I'll probably leave some of this, well, at least the weapon on, and maybe the console. Anti-proton damage. No, I'm not going to leave the console on. And that's not because I think it's bad or good. Well, let's see here. Bonus damage for 5 seconds. This ship's built in the consoles built around anti-proton, and I don't have that on this character. So I'm going to do a phaser beam overload is what I'm going to do on this. So let's get rid of this stuff and we'll get that put on. I will definitely save this console for when I do something with anti-proton on this. Stuff here. I'm going to do dual beam bank phasers in the front with a torpedo. And then most likely I'll use the trilithium omnidirectional, which is a mission drop. Or mission reward. I keep saying mission drop. Mission reward along with its console. Yeah, trilithium. It's an excellent set. It's an excellent Omni by itself. The 2-piece from the console is really good. It gives you firing cycle haste, so your weapons will fire faster. And it's a good survival console as well. And the mission's pretty easy, straightforward to run, especially needing to do it twice. Let's see. Here is the trilithium. The weapon by itself has a chance of increasing your firing cycle haste by 10% as well, all by itself. And then when you add the console in, let's grab that. Here's the console. Console gives you power transfer rate, hull restoration, and hull capacity. And then the 2-piece for that gives you 5% firing cycle haste to energy weapons. That'll affect all your weapons as well, and flight speed, which is always good. That comes, I'll just show you here, that comes from the mission New Frontiers. New Frontiers has a ton of good shit all through their missions. But it's beyond the Nexus, this one right here. So you just run it twice. There's a cannon or turret as well if you're doing a cannon build. But yeah, beyond the Nexus, definitely get that. All right, let's set up the front here. Is turn task force. I don't have the phaser yet for this. If I had the phaser Terran task force, even though it's a dual beam bank in the front build, I still would use the Terran task force. It's just such a good beam, but I don't have the phaser variant of it yet. I got to unlock tier 6 on the Terran task force rep. So I'm going to use the Discovery wide beam bank. And that'll pair up with Lorca's console. Then we're going to use pulse phasers pretty much for the rest here. It's on, okay. I should have just switched to my dual beam bank and then readied this, our dual beam bank build I already had. So it would just preload it all on there for me. That's right. And we're going to go with the torpedo, because the torpedo is just excellent, especially with Chemosight. And so this will actually give me the 3-piece on this, which 3-piece bonus for this build's kind of like whatever, but they're all good by themselves, so. You should definitely have a mix. Most ships other than Raiders are going to make you won't have a choice. You'll have to have some others. I'll show you at least with this what I'm going to do. And the way I'm going to set this up, the basics anyways, are going to be how I set everything up. I don't know if I have enough phaser consoles. Disruptor, there's a phaser. Shit, I might not have enough phaser consoles. I just moved a bunch over to another tune that holds my stuff. Ronnie, how's it going? Brian, that drops phaser ones. I can't even remember. Doing great. Excellent. Excellent. I'm doing well myself. I'm gonna throw this one in just because I don't have another tactical. This is another console that you can get from a mission drop as well for a phaser build. This comes from... There's also a beam and a... Here it is. Sunrise from the Future Proof Arc. Beam array is pretty good. You can get dual beam banks. They're not the quantum part of the quantum phase set, but I would definitely get the if you don't have a good torpedo or you're not sure, the torpedo's pretty good. Console's excellent. It's universal as well. And then the beam array is pretty good. And again, it's free, which is awesome. I'm going to use that there. And we'll use the Yashimaru. I guess if I start taking damage in a Raider, it's not going to matter that much. Let's save this loadout here. And let's ready, and then let's take a look at the bridge officers. One of the benefits having a Romulan character is you can get all RSOs, which is huge, which is the Superior Romulan Operative. They give you quite a bit of crit chance, crit severity. That. See what she has. Yep, photonic officer. We'll take that. That. It's got a nice layout. A lot of options. What else do I need? We need a higher torpedo. Right, if I can get 2, that'd be great. We'll do that. And then what are we going to put here? I already have pretty much everything I want. We're just going to drop in another Romulan operative just to fill the spot. Actually, no, there is something else I need. I'm going to use 1 there. Okay. Directed energy modulation. That can be useful. I don't tend to use it much. On my main account, I use it in conjunction with some traits on a torpedo build. Let me beam up to space. I'm going to organize the bridge officer abilities, and I'll kind of go through like the basic stuff for beam builds, at least that I use, that I find work pretty good together. Really, I build everything around 3 things, and then I fill in the gaps. So if it's a beam build, fire at will, or beam overload, and I generally don't use fire at will unless it's going to be some sort of a tank build where I want to attract a lot of attention. Definitely in a Raider, you don't want that. Let's see here. Let me take off some of these visuals. Boy, that is a decent looking ship. I don't think I like that shield. Let me fix this here, and then we'll look at the bridge officers. Table. This is something that I want. So I use a spam bar for my space bar to trigger abilities. You don't have to do that, but it's kind of a good way to lay out like the order of stuff. So this build is built around beam overload. So I'm going to put my beam overload in. Attack pattern beta, alpha. These are all things that are going to boost my beam overload. I'm going to put batteries in the chain. Some of this stuff around here. Just having a cloak. All right. So survivability. I'm just gonna get the stuff on the bar. So I put cannon scatter volley on here, which sounds kind of stupid because I don't have any cannons, but with the competitive rep engine I'm using, this will act as another evasive maneuvers to move the ship faster. That. Emergency power to weapons. That's going to start off the power chain there. Go down fighting. I have a personal trait that allows that to be activated even when you're not at 50%. So it's big damage boost there. Wonder if I can fit. Let me get these in here, guys, and then I'll go through what I'm doing. Is that the okay, that's the kinetic. Okay, that's from the experimental weapon. That's the only one I got, so we'll take that. I do not have much in the way of heals on this ship. If I start taking damage, I'm gonna get messed up. All right. On your beam builds, make sure you set your weapons power to maximum. That's a big deal. If this isn't maxed out, you're gonna lose a ton of damage potential. I like to keep my engines up real high. Shields, I don't really care about that much. And the way I built this ship, auxiliary doesn't really matter. The main things in my power train that I'm putting in, power chain, it's going to be emergency power to weapons. Then it's going to be, and I'm kind of skipping over some stuff because I'm just kind of talking about what I want to keep up all the time. So emergency power to weapons, attack pattern beta, battery. If you're using the strategist specialization, if you look at like the critical chance here, when I use hazard emitters, that gives me a good boost to that, and that's why that's there. And then beam overload, and then photonic officer, that will make all of your abilities cool down a lot faster. So that's kind of the main chain that I always use at a minimum. Like even when I start a new tune, it's going to be emergency power to weapons, firing mode, and then photonic officer. And then as I get more stuff, I'll add it in the mix there. Probably Deep Space Nine, I think. Let me catch up on chat here, guys. Yep. Brian knows what he's talking about. He's exactly right. Beam overload with the plasma. Nice. Okay. The Vengeance was my first like premium ship. I love it. I wish I had a Vengeance on this tune. I'm going to go with the Soliton Wave Impeller as well with this. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, so the basics are same energy types, same consoles to boost that energy type, and then emergency power to weapons, highest one you can get, and your firing mode, which I would definitely recommend beam overload, and then photonic officer. Everything else you can kind of figure out what you want to do and fill in those gaps, but those will get you started off where you're just mowing through stuff in missions. All right, let's save this. Okay, you got yours in Augie's Discord. He's got some pretty good builds on this ship for torpedo stuff. His builds are pretty pretty advanced that he puts up on his channel. That guy, he it's like the Gandalf of Star Trek Online. All right, I think the ship's set up. Let's take a look at it with the stock skin. I think it looks awesome. I wonder if the wings move when it goes into like attack mode. Got the standard cloak. It didn't really flicker though. I really like the Discovery cloak. That looks so awesome. You're under Wolf Strike. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, Ghost Rider phaser is the way to go when you're starting out. It makes life so much easier. It's easy to get. That's why I'm using it on this tune here. Why I went phaser. I'm slowly moving them over to Disruptor, the new ones. What are they? The Vosh disruptors. Have some fun with that. Why is this engine so ugly? All right, let's check the traits, and then I'm gonna go and run a Borg ISA, and let's see how we do there. Good, good, good. I'm gonna switch this for history roll. Remember, I don't have a lot of traits, being that this is free to play. Most of the ships I've had I've either won or gotten from events and those kinds of things. I think that'll get it done. All right, well, hopefully I don't die too much. But hey, that does happen. All right, I'm gonna turn on the parse. I don't expect this to do real well, but I am interested to see. All right, let's cue this up. There's nothing worse than queuing for something, going into it and realizing you queued for the wrong thing and you're on a Borg ground mission, hating your life. It's a real bummer. There are links to my Discord below. If you guys have questions that you want detailed answers on, you're more than welcome to post them in there. You can DM me as well. There's quite a few people that are in there that really know what they're talking about. Maybe we can get Brian in there. He can help as well. But if there's stuff you have specific questions on, I'm more than willing, and so is most of the guys that are in there, to help you out with any of that stuff. This thing fly. It's gonna be one where it's not tiny, I guess, but I'm gonna have to stay close to it. Sometimes with these smaller ships that are real maneuverable, it's hard to know exactly which direction I'm pointing. Your universe class is your main ship. Try and increase your phaser. Yeah, if you wanna post the build in the STO build channel in there, more than happy to take a look at that. You got a universe class, huh? That's a big boat. I don't have, well, even on my main account, I think I have one promo ship. It costed everything I owned to get it. My buddy actually got it, and I had a good amount of EC, and I had like a code I had won for like a 3-pack from the C store. And then I gave him also a gift card. It was the Vaudoir Juggernaut. I barely fly it now. It's a good ship. The trait that came off it in console are pretty good. Trait's really good. My character will be Romulan male. Yeah, I was gonna do an updated review on the different races and stuff. I mean, first off, pick whatever like you like, right? I mean, it's a game. Some people like to, you know, min-max it. Some people like to role play. Some people like to, you know, just keep it all original. All of that's fine. I was going to make a video from the standpoint of min-max, I guess, you know, DPS. Romulans still have a good advantage because you can buy RSOs, Superior Romulan Operative Bridge Officers, which give you huge boost to your critical chance, critical severity. There used to be a big advantage for Romulan and for Klingon to a certain extent where you could buy cross-faction consoles. So you could get, say, like a DPRM, which is a really good console, and you could get it for like 10 million on the exchange. If you were Fed, you had to get a ship that would cost you 500 million. So we lost out with that, or for being it, we can't do that anymore because now you can get any ship on any faction. So they pulled those cross-faction items from the boxes, but it's still, in my opinion, it's still worth going Romulan, at least for the damage, you know, standpoint. I don't like to tell people, oh, you should do this or it's the best one, because that's really that's in the eye of the beholder. I mean, you know, who am I to be like, no, you need to be Romulan? I mean, what if you want to be a, I don't know, Ferengi, you know, Starfleet officer straight up? I mean, ooh, we got a Juggernaut in here. Some people think this ship's ugly. What do you guys think? I think it looks good. I gotta remember to cloak. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see. Make it happen. I gotta remember to decloak. Uh-oh. Somebody else do some damage. I'm gonna die. If I just hang back here a bit. You like the look of the ship? It reminds me, I mean, Juggernaut definitely fits it, right? But it reminds me of, I don't know, like a little bit more modern, like Battlestar Galactica frigate, or I don't know, something a little more modern from like The Expanse or something. I don't know. But if you build those things right, man, you can do some major damage. The trait that comes on it's kind of outrageous. I don't feel like my torpedo is firing. All right, there it goes as I say it. I think the hardest thing about that ship, though, is flying it. It slides. You see he's just making his way back. It slides all over the place. There's little tricks to making it easier, but it's a chore. Somebody use some ability that spread all these damn spears out. I don't feel like my beam overload's going off. There it goes. Why won't my DPR? Okay, there it goes. That was weird. This game's really getting a little glitchy. There's a lot of people on, so I think it's really kind of stressing the servers a bit. Get anybody? Nope. Alright. That wasn't bad. It felt good. Normally the runs that feel good are terrible, and the ones that feel terrible are, like, really good. It's normally how it works. No. No, you cannot. The only thing that's cross-faction is the ships now, essentially. And the pets for the ships as well. But if you're Fed, you got to use Fed bridge officers. Looks like an MFG gun. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Big old MFG floating through space. Looks like something from Babylon 5. Yeah, for sure. Looks like just some mean, big battleship. Yeah. Misfiring is a problem. I've done my best. Talking with Augie the other day, he's feeling like it's beam, emergency powered weapons, and then your main firing mode. I've spread them out. I need to do a better job at... Like, I just click the shit out of my spacebar. Like, my thumb gets tired. And what I really need to do is fire off the chain, and I need to be paying attention to the cooldowns. Because what happens is that even though it's spread out, once I go through the whole chain, there'll be a bunch of stuff that's not off cooldown, and these two might as well be next to each other. Because if all of this is on cooldown, let's just say, and this are not, and I click my spacebar, it's going to fire this and jump right to that. And so these two activating close to each other, I think is what's causing the misfiring with those. Synthetic, how you doing today? I think one day, okay, we allowed other faction bridge officers. I would have to say yes, only because if you would ask people that question about the ships a year and a half ago, most of us probably would have been like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I really doubt it. So at this point, I would say anything's possible. You want Ryder on your bird of prey? Riker on your bird of prey. Jesus, I'm gonna have to clip that. I'm clipping all of my mispronunciations of followers on Twitch, and then on any kind of spelling, reading issues. I'm going to make a montage. What not to do while you're live streaming. Not the best reader in the world, but instead of it stopping me, I'm just going to embrace it, I'm doing well. I'm doing really good. Synthetic, glad you're here. All right, well that flew pretty good. Definitely could use a little practice piloting it. It's got a nice turn rate on it. I like to go fast. That's why I slotted, like I said earlier, the cannon scatter volley, because that boosts my speed. I'm using a duty officer that when I use this, so you got 8 seconds hauling ass. Once this stops, and then I click this, it'll actually cool it right back down. And I find I gotta wait like a second or two, but click it, 3 seconds, that's up again. It is on a global timer or cooldown with emergency powered weapons, so you gotta kind of watch that. And then the Duranium surplus, this is good stuff. You can unlock this on it's not a patrol. I mean, I guess it's a patrol. You used to have to run the patrol daily and you could get like 5 of them. Now they've made it once you run the patrol and you obtain these, you can craft them. And they give you some defense rating, which I don't really care about, but if you click it, it's like another speed boost. If you're mid-maxing or, going for damage, moving fast is almost as important as how much damage your ship can put out. Especially if you're playing on a team or with other really good players as well. A lot of it becomes like a race. Who can get to the next batch of enemy to, start doing damage. Because I know, like, on this tune especially, I would play with, Augie and some of these guys. By the time I got to the first group, of cubes, they're all fucking dead. So there was no one for me to shoot. Speed is, it's important. See you guys later. Brian, thanks for stopping in, man. Have a good night. Hey, what's the green Borg ability? This one right here? I think that's the only green ability on my bar, unless you're just asking in general. If you're asking in general, I would have to know which one. This particular one comes from, okay. So what this does a couple different things depending on how your ship is set up. What it comes from is your specializations. So it comes from Strategist. Once you unlock Strategist, this will pop up. If you are not in threatening stance, which I don't even have that ability slotted here. It's a default ability all captains get. If you do not have that activated, then let's see, while you're not in threatening stance, it'll placate enemies up to 10 kilometers away, and it'll reduce your threat generation. It'll also give you 3% bonus damage, all damage, per foe affected. If you like, I use that ability a lot on the DPS builds and then also on my tank builds, because it basically does the opposite if you're a tank. So it'll attract a bunch of attention, and then it also gives you extra hull healing. So it's a good ability either way. I think you only have to get through like half of the specialization to unlock it. But yeah, that's what that is. It's a good looking ship. I like that. I didn't notice if the wings moved when I was running that. Let's see how that ISA went. I was running my parser. Let's see here. We'll make that smaller here in a second. Trying to maximize my beam build. Best ship for beam boat. So you're doing beam arrays, not dual beam banks. It's kind of a loaded question. Well, it's not a loaded question, but you can really, beams are nice because you don't need to have a commander tactical to get the best firing mode out of it. I would recommend using beam overload. Number one, emergency power to weapons. Number two, well, I'll show you what I'm doing with my beam build. Let's just look at this real quick. That actually did really well. I'm surprised that Juggernaut didn't do better. So we did 167 DPS, 1000 DPS on that. That's actually not bad. That might be my best one on this tune. Let's see. Have like one? Okay. Don, how are you? Good to see you. Oh yeah, that was a record for me for this guy. Awesome. The ship's not even fully unlocked either. Okay. Not bad. Well, I think I'll just finish up with this, and then I'll chat with you guys here about any questions you might have. But Raider ship, it's badass. I think it looks cool. I like that it's got the built-in cloak. You can get that ambush bonus there at the beginning. The bridge officer seating's awesome. I mean, there's just so much you can do with it because almost all of it is universal, which is great. Make a great torpedo build. Augie's demonstrated that already. He's doing like 500-600K with his build there. So especially for free, this is badass. This is great. Very, very good. All right, let me. I'm gonna jump over to a different ship here. We'll talk about beam builds real quick. Save that loadout. And what I'll do, actually, you know what? I'm gonna jump over to a different character. I have a phaser beam build, and on this one, I through last year there was a bunch of events that went where you could earn a bunch of Lobi. And so I used it to get a lot of, higher end stuff. My other character doesn't quite have all of that. So let's jump over to him. He's still on my free to play. So open this stuff too. Yeah, so on a beam build. Okay, synthetic. I'm gonna pull one up for you here. Phaser beam build. Ship unlocked. Sandman, I will show you here. So what I mean by unlocked is the mastery. So once you get to a tier 5 or higher ship, they'll have a mastery system that'll give you different things like resistance rating, different kinds of bonuses, things like that. Yeah, I really like this Odyssey. This was from the free tier 5 token that they gave us, and I'm loving it. I did the ship upgrade and then the X on it. Nigel, It's not that late, bud. I came up recommended for you? That's awesome. Now I'm all nervous, dude. Okay, so ship unlock. So this is your mastery. This is a tier 5. So on a tier 6, you would have the starship trait listed after this as the 5th unlock. So on the Raider I just did, we just unboxed that ship and used it. So none of this other stuff was up. And to be honest, I didn't even read that, and I should have. It probably gives you like additional flanking damage. It probably gives you 15% plus on the critical severity, and it might give you like +5 on critical chance. If it has both of those, which is normally on like the battle cruisers, then it would be really badass for that, and probably would be able to do a lot better with it once it's fully unlocked. So this is my Odyssey phaser build. Let me see how I have it set. Okay, so this one I also tank with. Right now I have it set up in more of a DPS configuration. So console-wise, best way to build critical chance. So endeavors, number 1, just work on those. That really helps. If you're Romulan, you can get RSOs. So if you're not Romulan, you can only get tactical ones, and they're expensive. They're through your fleet, so they cost dilithium and fleet marks. So they're free, but you have to grind it out. But I'll show you here, for instance. So their trait, they have superior Romulan operative, and that gives you plus 2% critical chance, plus 5% critical severity, and it stacks. So I have 2 of them, and they're both slotted here on the ship. So right there is 4 and 2. So that's 1. Oh, you know it, Nigel. So that's one way, or part of it. And it doesn't matter how little it is either, like especially when it comes to critical chance. Every 1 and 2% is huge, and it adds up. So let's see here. It's like this is a Jemadar. I don't have really any Lobby stuff on here except for 1 console. And I'm being able to push it to, what, 45 and 178. On my Romulan I was just on, depending on the ship and the mastery unlock, that sits at over 50 and over 200. Nick, how's it going? Rep traits is going to be another one. So your consoles, these consoles right here from your fleet, you want these. Either a mixture of these and exploiters. I don't have any exploiters on this ship that are phaser, but I do have some Polaron ones. So the Polaron ones, they'll give you critical severity, and then your locators will give you your energy type plus your critical chance. So, and the other ones give you whatever energy type you want as well. There's a lot. So then I have other consoles, like this one's giving me plus 1.5. This is a mission drop, comes from Butterfly, depending on where you keep your auxiliary. This will give you up to 10% critical severity and 2.5 critical chance. My auxiliary is set pretty low, but I have other consoles putting bonus into it, so it's still worth slotting. There's rep gear, so this is a rep item from the Romulan, and then this one's excellent. I use this on my main account as well. This is from the Omega rep, and it's pretty inexpensive. And then as Nick said, also another good one is going to be in your rep traits. So, and this is just from doing your reputation stuff. Leveling this up will unlock these. So on this one, I'm running this guy, and this is plus 20% critical severity, plus 5 critical chance, and then Tyler's duality. This is from the Discovery rep. This one's excellent. This one scales with your hull. So with a maximum of getting an additional 7.5 if you have a 200,000 K hull. I'm currently getting 5.2 out of that. There was something else too. What was it? Oh, yeah. So there's personal space traits. Some of these cost, you have to buy them off the exchange or get them out of boxes. So plus 15% critical severity. There are some stock ones like operative. Innocuous. These are stock ones that'll give you extra critical chance, critical severity. How's the Hive Mind trait? It is pretty good. So Hive Mind's a ground trait. It's this one here, and it's great, especially if multiple people on your team have it. Adaptive offense, is that? Yeah, this is another Borg one. This one came out not too long ago. Hive Mind's been around for a while. This is a pretty good trait to stack critical chance and critical severity. It was fairly inexpensive on the exchange, but I haven't looked lately, so it's probably gone up a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, everything I build these builds around, where I'm going for damage, it's not theme or it's not a tank. Tanking's kind of a different thing. Science is a little bit different. I build it all around critical chance, critical severity, and whatever kind of damage type you're doing. So in this case, phaser. And then the next thing I look at is how can I boost the main damage type. So in this instance, our main damage ability. So in this instance, it's beam overload. And I just posted a video a couple days ago. It's called Synergize Your Build, and it really kind of talks about this specifically. But everything else I've done on this is an attempt to make beam overload work better. So draw less power when it goes off firing. Make it fire faster because it fires slower when it's going off. So those are the main things I kind of build these around. So I don't mess with doing anything specific when it comes to my traits for resistance ratings or any of those kinds of things. Because what I want to do is I want to kill them before I need that stuff. And then I also try and do and use things like this green ability you had asked me about. This placates and it reduces your threat. So I want to reduce my threat. I want to reduce my chance of the enemy wanting to fire at me. I want to do that a lot more than I want to have survivability kind of stuff going. It's a trade-off. And when I'm building a tune, there'll be more survivability stuff that I intentionally put on it. But as I'm able to get better, upgraded weapons and upgrade, get that critical severity up and stuff, you start needing less of that survivability stuff because you're killing them before they're having the opportunity to do, damage to you. Oh, you're welcome. Not a problem, man. Nick, use the same firing mode, your weapon, and use. Yeah. Yep. So and again, I don't want to tell people don't do X or don't do, because like fire at will, it's fucking cool, man. I mean, it's just going off, it's hitting everything. I don't personally like it because it just attracts too much attention. It says, everybody look at me, and you start taking a lot of damage, and it doesn't do very much damage. You can make it do damage. There are builds that you can do to make that work. So again, I'm not saying, don't use that, but especially if you're newer or you're just starting to build up your first build, I would definitely lean towards beam overload, cannon scatter volley if you go that way. And you don't want to mix it up really either, so if you're beam overload, there's no reason to have fire at will in there at all. Is living whole trait useful? If it's all you have, yes. Is there better stuff? Definitely. But I think I have it on here. It's a mission drop, I believe. Have I unlocked it on him? No, I have best defense. Yeah. So it's, oops, sorry, I bumped the mic there. Whether something's good or not is really relative, not just to your build, but what you have, right? So like if you look at my traits here, I mean, some of this stuff is good. Like this is great for tanking, but it's not good really for a DPS build, but it's all I have, so it makes sense. Have a good night, Nige. I'll see you tomorrow, dude. Yeah, so personal trait, living hull. Okay. That is a mission drop though, if I remember correctly. Have it? I think I played through almost all the storyline. No, I do not. I have not unlocked that on this. Yeah, so I'm never going to answer those kind of questions like yes or no. It's really relative. It really depends on what you have. If you're still working on building, your damage output and stuff, then, things that are going to make you survive are going to be a lot more important. Let's see here. Like the info so much. I like to talk, man. My videos go on a lot longer than what they should because I'll start just rambling. I do need to focus on my endeavors. Yeah, the endeavors, like on this one, like on my main account, I think I'm at like 260. On this one, I was almost max for critical chance, critical severity, you know, the damage stuff, you know, and they just expanded it out. So I've gotten, you can't see my chart over on this side because I'm just focusing on the middle of my screen right now, but I've gotten a little lazy, and I just kind of take the ones that are easy and stuff, re-roll it if I have it, but definitely focus on that. It helps, especially when you get a new tune, you level him, he's automatically going to have like excellent boost to his stats. So the endeavors, if you got time and the will, focus on them, you know, anytime you can. It really, really will pay off. Just have no clue how to. It's your sleep time. Ghost Rider, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Join the Discord. We love talking Star Trek. So if you got questions, definitely do that. If you do ask questions in my videos I post, I'm pretty good about answering everybody. So thanks for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it. I just have no clue how. What did I miss, Synthetic? This gonna be uploaded so we can go back. Yes, this will this is live and I have it set to save. Some of the stuff I'm going over, I've just started putting together a series of they're kind of how-tos. They're more of, how do I describe it? Methodology is what I'm trying to focus on, because there's all kinds of guys out there that are really good, like Augie, Timberwolf, you know, they put together just amazing stuff, and you can copy their builds and get pretty similar results. But I mean, you know, I'll copy their builds and I'll get similar results, but it's never quite as good. And the reason for that, what I'm finding is that it's because I don't fully understand everything that they're doing, right? How they're timing out, what they're clicking things in a particular order, and the way the traits interact with them. So I've been putting together videos, and I'm going to be doing more where I kind of focus on just individual little things that are more of the thought process, the methodology, and why you might want to or not want to do something. So a little less of, you know, use these couple things. And I'm more than happy to suggest, you know, things to you if you have specific, you know, items you're looking for or things you're trying to put together. But there's nothing in the game that goes over any of this stuff. So I think it'd be helpful, and I've already put a couple out and they've gotten pretty good feedback on them, but just methodology of how to focus on, think about, you know, building your ship from a damage output perspective. That's what I'm into. And I never want anyone to be confused about, you know, me thinking that that's what you have to do. There's people play the game, you know, since it's come out 9-10 years, and they don't do any kind of damage. They don't want to. They just have fun playing the game, and that's totally cool, you know. Lucy, my ship has been performing. Awesome. It says my Discord link has expired. Of course it has. It's pro status. I'll update that. That means probably all of them, because I've been copying and pasting them over. Once this live stream's done, I'll go in and I'll update that. You can also, if you hit me up on Twitch, there's a link that's in there that should work. I'm going to go through and check all of those. Thanks for letting me know that says that's expired. I've been doing some rearranging on some of the pages in there, so... Okay, yeah, Nick, if you do that, that'd be awesome. Make sure I'm not missing anybody else. All right, I think that covers all the questions you guys asked there. I was actually going to kind of clip this up for a video just of the new ship, just my live first impression. There's all kinds of people done reviews and crazy ass builds, but I just, you know, there was no one that I just unboxed it on stream first time, and you know, gave you my basic thoughts on it. And I think it's badass. I mean, I've just run that one run that you guys saw me do, and that was the highest damage I've done on this tune. So excuse me, I'm pretty pumped for a free ship. It's badass. Yeah, you can post it, Nick, if it'll let you. I normally stream on Twitch, so I don't, on the YouTube stuff, I'm not sure what it'll let you do or not do. I tell you what, why don't I grab it here and I'll post it if you are unable to. Let's see, invite people to never expire. I don't think it actually expired, even though it said that. I think it's because I reorganized a bunch of the grant temporary membership. Okay. I think it's because I reorganized a bunch of the pages. You can't see it. I cannot see it, no, Nick. Here, let me try. There we go. That should get you guys in there. I'll go through all my videos too and update those and make sure that stuff's correct, so you guys can get in. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for me. I'm glad everybody showed up. I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, it was more of just wanting to capture my live reaction there of that ship. I'm going to jump over to my my main account now and unlock it on that and have some fun with it. I should have another video coming out before the end of the week. It'll be along the same lines of the build methodology, focusing on, you know, some specific aspect of that. The last one was synergizing your build, kind of broad, making sure, you know, consoles, bridge officer abilities, all those things are working together and in tandem. If you're new, I encourage you to check it out. I think it's helpful. Like I said, I tend to just kind of talk. Some people don't like that. Others that are more kind of patient and just kind of listen through it, I think it could be helpful, but let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't take it personally. All right, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me, everyone, and I will catch you guys next time. Oh, I mainly stream on Twitch on Saturday or Friday nights. Do Star Trek online. If you check my Twitch channel, that link should not be expired down in the description. I have a schedule in there for that. I'll normally do an after-hours stream on that, generally warships or something else, just fun, separate, and then I do surprise ones through the week. But if you join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. I put alerts out there anytime I do go live or post a new video, so I encourage you to do that. Sub to the channel. You get alerts when I post stuff on YouTube as well, and that helps me out quite a bit. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. You know, my wife, are having a contest. She live streams on Twitch and is trying to do some of the YouTube stuff, but she plays Fortnite. Who wants to watch that? Luckily, she's pretty. So, anyways, I'll keep talking here. So let's. I guess we can't raid anybody on YouTube. So, again, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate everyone hanging out with me, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye, Ronnie. Thanks for hanging out, bud.